going. Take it away, sister.
Oh my goodness. Hello. Hello. Hi, Heather. Oh, it's seriously, guys, like so good to see everybody. I wish I'm on my phone so I could see 4 of you, but I wish I could swipe. I love you all. I love you all. It's so good to see you, Sarah Fash. Oh my goodness. Okay. So so when Lane first got a hold of some of us that watched Super Saturday all together at Deborah's lovely house that literally looked like a magazine, seriously. And that was a wonderful time to all get together. She kind of asked us to take some of our takeaways, share some things like that. And what really stuck out to me during Super Saturday was Lauren Thomas. I've always been a Lauren Thomas fan. How many of you guys, by a show of hands or in the chat, saw Lauren Thomas, know who she is? Yes, Deborah, Heather, some of you guys know who she is. She was actually, I think that I'm getting this correct, the youngest to ever go Emerald at 19 years old. She went Emerald at 19. Can you guys even imagine that at 19 years old? Oh, thank goodness I didn't go Emerald at 19. Oh my goodness. But anyway, she went Emerald at 19 along with Austin Ryan, Bridget Ryan's son. And I believe that Austin Ryan was 20 years old at the time when he went Emerald in 2020. And that was the same time that I went Emerald. So me and Lauren like connected right off the bat. We started messaging with each other. Anyway, she started Plexus when she was 18, getting ready to turn 19, and she was going to school. She was going to college for marketing. So she was already like in the field of marketing, which that doesn't hardly happen in the Plexus sphere, or we don't hear of it very often. But she was going to school for marketing. She stumbled upon Plexus. However, I'm not sure her exact Plexus story, but she said, I see the business opportunity in Plexus. I see it. Like from a marketing standpoint, that was what she was going to school to do. She could see herself slaying in Plexus. But the only problem is when she first joined, she didn't see herself represented in Plexus at all. So what she saw represented in Plexus was like homeschool moms, DIY moms, that kind of stuff, people that were like established and 35 years old and older. And so that was her big thing. She saw that she could make a business. She loved the products, fell in love with the products right away, knew that she could make a business, but she was like, listen, I do not see myself represented in Plexus. So I'm not going to cry about it. I'm going to fix it. Right. And so that's what she has done. And so I love that because that just really sticks out with me. For one, I was drawn to her right from the get-go because we went Emerald at the same time. But for two, she was like, okay, I don't see myself. I don't see the young 18, 19, 20-year-olds represented. So now I'm going to fix that and I'm going to change things about that. And I just love that. First, that she had the tenacity to do that at such a young age. And also that she just had the know-how to do it. And I'm sure it didn't come overnight or maybe even naturally, but she figured it out. So she thrives on social media. Obviously, we know that she thrives on multiple platforms of social media, not just Facebook. So Facebook for her generation is like kind of down on the totem pole. She has made many trips to corporate and now she helps market towards the younger generation. So they have her fly to Arizona like all the time. Now she's probably 21, I think, 21, 22 years old. And she flies to corporate all the time because they just want to pick her brain. She is still one of the youngest jewels in Plexus. And so she flies to corporate all the time, and she teaches Plexus how to market to the younger generation. She's written her own courses and she's learned how to thrive in this market and also market herself in a way. So my thing is basically what it boils down to is maybe you don't see yourself, your exact self represented in Plexus. maybe you don't fall into the category that you might see on stage or that you might see in a lot of the trainings. And then just decide what that representation is and figure out how to represent. Like I said, Lauren now writes her own courses and she sells them. So she's not only learned Plexus and how to make Plexus her business, she has also studied marketing so much, I think she graduated even, that she now markets herself and sells her own courses. So she's just slaying the game. And I also wanted to touch on, do you guys remember when like 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, a lot of us were making up our own contests. We were making up our own things to do. We were creating our own incentives until corporate caught up with us. You know, corporate kind of started changing the way that they incentivized and changing the way that they turn everything into a contest. Finally, right? We've seen that a lot in the last year or two. But we on our team, on Lane and Deborah and people that blazed the trail before us, we really created our own contests, right? Before Plexus caught up to us. So I kind of, like, I think of Lauren like that as kind of a trailblazer, blazing before. So what wasn't there, she has created. So my challenge for you tonight, so I won't keep talking. My challenge for you guys tonight is to see who represents you in Plexus and study them and study what works for them. If you do not see yourself represented, how can you be the one to change things? So how can you be the people that can be represented? There's people that need to see your talents, your abilities, and even your differences represented. So that's kind of my challenge for you guys tonight, is to either find yourself who's in your category and study them and see what they're doing and copy and mimic and see what sticks. But if you don't, then how can you be the trailblazer and you figure out how to see yourself on stage? Because there's people that need to see you, not all the Lauren Thomases, not all the Lane Loftuses. There's people that need your gifting, your abilities, and your talents. So that's my challenge for you guys tonight, to see how you can represent yourselves. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, am I turning it over to Lane or Carrie?
I'm here. I'm
let's
live.
go. Let's.
Oh, that was so good, Brooke, and so true. How many of you do not feel like you have somebody that represents you in your season and you're kind of blazing the trail? Does anybody on this call feel that way? Bronte, I see your hand raised. Carrie, see, that's amazing, because it's an opportunity and you can use all the same tactics and put your own spin on it with the knowledge that you know where you're at in your season of life. And it's a beautiful thing. So I love that challenge. So welcome, everybody. I have no idea what happened earlier. Suddenly there was an option that wasn't there. So I just think that was the enemy and he lost and we won. Yes. Okay. I'm very excited about tonight. This is my favorite part of my job right here. This is it. Hanging out with you guys, leading, training, talking to you all day long. I've been thinking about what to speak on and praying about it and writing stuff down. And whenever you learn something, like in Super Saturday, for everyone who attended Super Saturday, the most important thing to do is retrain what you learn. I promise you, if you don't, it will float away into space and you will not remember what you learned. So everything you learn, retrain it. If you say, Lane, I don't have a team, do you have somebody? Because if you have somebody, jump on a Zoom, jump on a call, Vox, whatever, and tell them what you learned. Tell them what you're doing. I started training before I ever even had a team page or anything like that, and you could do the same in your own way. Okay, so one of the things that I took away, and I believe that it was the cute little blonde, Helen McFadden, is that who it was? Sonia Dudley? One of them. She said, success is a decision backed by an action. And I love that, because I can tell you after almost 7 years, you have to do self-growth. You have to go to events. You will stall out if you're not doing those things. But if you do all of that and you do not take action, you'll stall out just as much. Action is 100% a must in this business. And it's my favorite part of the business, but I know for a lot, procrastination steps in, self-doubt steps in. Those things step in, and that's normal and that's okay. And we can talk you through that and walk you through it because we've all been there. But I wanted to congratulate you because you're here right now. That means you're taking action. And I want to be respectful of your time. So I want to give you things that you can put into your real life, put into your business, effective immediately. Okay, so I did a little acronym for the word action. If you're writing notes, where's my thing? Just write action down like this vertically. And then I'm going to give you a little thing to put beside each letter. So, and for A, you're going to write access, your list, and your goals. Okay, so this could look like I have a daily list. Some people have weekly, monthly. Some people are awesome and they have a whole year planned out, all their goals. Whatever that is for you, who cares what anybody else is doing? I can't think as far as a year because it causes me to get in a bad place. I'm just like, okay, Lane, you're going to be awesome today. That's it. And then the next day, hey, Lane, you're going to be awesome today. This is what we're going to do. That's me. Do what works for you, but whatever that is, put it in front of you. Access that. What's your goal for today? And what is today's goal getting you towards? So right now, convention. Deborah's going to talk on convention in a little bit. That's where my brain is at. I want to win everything. I want to be the top. I want to do it all. I want to get there and experience everything fully. So my daily goals are going to get me there. Okay, so put that in front of you. Remind yourself why you're doing this, because if it's for nothing, don't do it. Okay, so C, concentrated effort. I highly encourage you. Some of us are moms. Some of us have full-time jobs. We all are busy. We're all so busy. And some of us truly do not get a break. But with that being said, we can truly make time for the things that are important to us. So I encourage you to find a way to find time to concentrate as you work. If that's only 30 minutes a day, girl, you can get so much done in 30 minutes a day with concentrated effort. Because if you're like me and you are flying by the seat of your pants all day and trying to get a little done here and a little done there, you feel flustered. That's not God's best for you, and that's not how I want you to rise to the top of this company. It's not fun, and it's not the way that it has to be. So short amounts of time, concentrated efforts. T, set a timer. Set a timer, 30 minutes most. I know there's like this thing called a power hour, but I don't have that much concentration. So 30 minutes spats for me. And when that timer goes off, walk away. And if you're just so excited and you're loving your job and you're loving your business, come back in 5 minutes. That's cool. I do it all the time. But with that timer set, you are going to be more concentrated. You're going to get in a hurry. You're not going to let yourself go down any rabbit trails, and you're going to get stuff done. So integrity proof what you're doing. This is something that there have been seasons in my life that I had a mission, and it was to win something, and I was not putting people before my goals. Just confession, true confession there. And yeah, I won a lot of things and all that, but it wasn't with integrity, and that's not a true reward. And so I encourage you, every post you make, every message you're sending, make sure you're checking yourself, that you have good integrity, that your intentions are good, that you're truly putting people over points. Because I promise you, it feels way better for you, and it's why we're here. It's why we do what we do. And don't forget, you're not just trying to help people in their health journey. You're helping people get their business started. You're helping people find financial freedom. And that's a big deal. Don't shy away from that. The O stands for one hard thing. So one hard thing for me is going live on my personal Facebook page. That's so hard for me. It's hard for me to send a cold message. What are the things that are uncomfortable for you? Do one of them every time. Just do it. It's going to feel so scary, but it feels so good and so empowering when you do something that is hard because you're going towards a goal. I'm telling you, it feels good. And it's the best way to grow. N, never quit mindset. So if you are doing this to see how it works for you, let me go ahead and tell you, there's going to be hard days. There's going to be times, Bronte and I were talking earlier, there's going to be times you're like, I just did all that. Where's my money? Where's my reward? Where's my boots? You know, I just did so much. So I'm telling you right now, there's going to be seasons that you feel like you're working for nothing. You feel like everyone's saying no, everyone's getting to check out and then not following through. You're going to have that. So if that's your mindset, I want to see if this is going to work for me. That's not going to work and you won't last long. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being real. You have to have a never quit mindset. When I made my first post, I was in this for life. And it all goes back to the products. They are good. They are real. They work. Our company has integrity. I'm never going to quit no matter what. I would go from diamond to silver and I'll never quit. Promise. That's just my mindset and it's forever. And you have to have that. And if you start to struggle in that, contact somebody, reach out to your sponsor. That's what we're here for, is to help each other through those seasons. It's not abnormal, but you've got to have a never quit mindset. All right. So for some of you that are thinking, I don't have time. Well, we've all thought that. But like I said, we make time for the things that are important to us. My first year with Plexus, we did not watch one Netflix. We did not watch 1 ounce of TV, nothing. Anytime we were looking at a screen, we were watching Plexus training videos. I've seen every one of them. So was my husband. We were committed. We cut out the things that weren't important. And so what I wrote down on that is replace activities that aren't serving your goals. So whatever activities in your life that aren't serving your goals, replace them with something that is serving your goal. Okay, so I'll close out later. Brooke already did amazing. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Carrie, who's talking about my favorite subject that was talked on Super Saturday.
So I am talking about positive psychology, and the speaker was Valerie Burton. She was amazing. Look her up. She actually has like a whole institute on positive psychology. And some of you don't know that about me, but I graduated with a degree in psychology and communications and have been like in the social work field for, I guess, almost 20 years, because I graduated from college in 2003. That's crazy. I love psychology. Psychology is all about the study of the mind and behavior. So positive psychology, if you think about it like kids, positive is adding something. Negative would be taking something away. So like if you have kids and they are doing something that you don't approve of, negative would be like taking a toy from them, taking away their electronics, taking something away. We might call it punishment or discipline, negative. But positive psychology would be recognizing the good behavior that you see in them and praising them and high fives. I love how you put your shoes in the right place today. Give me a high five. Which I do sometimes with my kids. And it's really harder though. Like being proactive and reacting to the good things that our kids doing actually takes more work than being reactive and reacting to the negative behaviors that we see with them. So it does take work. What does it mean in our Plexus business? Okay, so it's all about thinking a shift like in our thoughts and what we're thinking about. The Bible, right? Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So first come your thoughts, then come your feelings and your actions and your behaviors and your habits. It all starts with a thought. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So are you thinking of yourself as a success or a failure? Are you thinking of yourself as a person of impact or a bother? Like, oh, I don't want to bother this person again. Or are you thinking I could impact this person's life forever? Are you thinking of yourself as like a hope dealer or just another annoying network marketer? Like how you think about yourself truly, truly matters. As you think in your heart, so are you. So successful people think differently. How far, I wrote down some of these quotes. How far you go is determined by how far you're willing to grow. So you can have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. A growth mindset would be like, okay, what's the lesson to learn here? What went well? Let's do more of that. What didn't go well? Let's shift, let's pivot, let's try something else. And always just thinking about what you can do differently. Success is more than knowing what step to take, not just knowing the step to take. It's managing the fears and habits and distractions that keep you from taking them. Okay, so you want to build your business, we're supposed to post, we're supposed to do reach outs, we do follow-ups, we do lives, we do parties, we do all of these things. All of us know the steps that we're supposed to take to build our business, right? But really, if you're not managing the fears and habits and distractions that keep you from them, so think about this. Why aren't you taking those steps? I don't have enough time. Okay, that's probably just an excuse. Let's dig a little deeper. Like, do you have 30 minutes a day? Like Lane said, I have been preaching this to my people who want to work the business 5 hours a week, or bare minimum 30 minutes a day. You can accomplish so much more in 30 minutes a day than you can in 3 hours sometimes if you just have focus, laser focused energy during that 30 minutes or 60 minutes. So that's where the challenge gets. If you are coming up with excuses, or maybe instead of getting on social media to connect with people, to edify, to encourage, you end up playing the scroll game. And then it's like 2 hours later and you're like, what did I even do? Or you're lost in TikTok world or real world. And when you were supposed to be making a reel to provide content or to somebody, and you're like lost in this world. Like, it's so easy to get distracted. Other things that we do, like sometimes we use food as distractions. So we know what we need to do. We need to dig deeper as to why we're really not doing it. She talked about 4 core fears. The fear of failure, that has stopped me in my tracks so many times. On the opposite though, which I think I'm also guilty of, it's one you have to dig deeper into, is the fear of success. Like something inside of you is afraid of reaching this certain mark because maybe there's a lot of pressure there to stay at that mark. Maybe like you don't want to get to a certain rank because then you think I have to keep those points and stay at that rank or I'm going to fail. So there's like this fear of success too. There's a fear of rejection. Again, what other people think of us. There's always going to be naysayers. And I love that verse that says, am I trying to win the approval of man or of God? Because if I'm trying to win the approval of man, I can't be a servant of Christ. But there's that fear. And then there's a fear of uncertainty or losing control. Guess what? You can't control other people. I think somewhere on Super Saturday, someone was talking about like the aliens will come and just take your people and they'll disappear. Like, so true though. Like, we can't control when another person orders, when another person decides they don't want to work the business. We can't control those things. So those are all fears. Sorry. Stop trying to fix your weaknesses. So instead of obsessing over what's wrong, start building on what's right. This is something that's really like challenging for me personally, because it's easy whenever you mess up or something to see those negative things or what you do wrong. But this is a whole shift when you stop obsessing on that place and then say, okay, these are my values. This is what I can offer to the world. This is what brings purpose to the people around me. This is what brings me joy when I can bring purpose to the other people around me. And then build on that, build on your strengths. And then a few other things. She said, be prepared for battle. Think accurately, not just positively. Increase your thought awareness. I love the verse in 2 Corinthians 10:5 that says, take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. Here's what I challenge you all to do. Start thinking about what you're thinking about. And if you really have no clue, like sometimes it really takes some work. But if you're experiencing a certain feeling and that feeling is positive or negative, I did not say good or bad, positive or negative. So a negative feeling might be disappointment or shame or failure, or just sadness and depression and anxious, any of those negative feelings. Like if you're feeling that, that's because underneath that feeling, deeper down, is a thought. And it's probably a thought about your identity, because the enemy likes to attack our identity. He likes to distract us because God has a bigger plan or something for your life. And if the enemy can get in and whisper lies to you, just like he did in the very beginning with Adam and Eve, right? Did God really say you were meant to do this? Are you sure? Like, are you really sure? If the enemy can get in there and start telling you lies, then he's going to do that. So probably if you're feeling any kind of negative emotion or feeling, then there's an underlying thought to go with that. When you start paying attention to that, write those down. Maybe that's like, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have all the answers. I will never measure up. I'm not capable. I'm like, the list could go on and on. Things that you're thinking about. I don't think I can do this. I can't do this. I can't handle this. I don't have enough time. I can't balance my life. Like negative thoughts. If you notice those things, start to write them down. And then I encourage you to get the Bible or grab a friend who knows the Bible and say, what's truth here? Like, what's something that I can do about this? And start replacing those lies with truth. Because in positive psychology, thinking about what you're thinking about, the best kinds of thoughts you can have is from the Word of God and the Bible. So instead of saying, I can't do this, remember that Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And instead of saying like, I can't handle this, it's too much, remember that Jesus says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Like there is truth to combat the lies about how you're feeling, about how you feel about who you are, about who the enemy is telling you who you are, or other people. Sometimes the enemy uses other people. So just like keep practicing. I encourage you to dig deeper because this is where success is going to be rooted, is in your thoughts. Like for the future, I mean, the moment you believe that you are diamond, you are on your way to diamond. Like that element of belief and faith. Like Lane said, faith equals action. Like you can't have faith without action. I just keep thinking like, don't just be like a consumer junkie and I'm getting all this information and I'm learning all these things all the time. And if you don't do anything, like it's nothing, it's void, it's nothing. Like you have to take action. Then a couple more things. Choose progress over perfection. Your life's not over. You're not crazy. You are human. We all make mistakes, right? She said, one of her quotes was, I will walk through this fire and it will not consume me. I will be better, not bitter. Love that. And then she just talked about learning to be happy now with whatever was going on around. One more thing. There were some happiness triggers that she talked about: service, movement, play, gratitude, connection, relaxation, winning words, celebrating wins, and smiling. Smiling, this is so cool, activates tiny molecules in your brain that are designed to fend off stress. Like, and she said, even if you feel like you get smile, I can see Lane right now. Oh, yeah, I love your smile. But even like she said, just say the E, if they're a Brooke student, E, like just practice that, because even that movement with your mouth tells the brain to fend off stress. So cool. So these molecules, they're called neuropeptides, if you want to know that, facilitate communication between the neurons in your brain. Also, when you smile, your brain releases dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin, which is all those happy chemicals. So smile. I'm going to pass it on to my fellow Enneagram 2 biggest heart ever, who was so gracious to open her house to us. And she gets to talk to us about Nashville. So Deborah Hoppy, take it away.
Why do I feel so seen? And like, what's going on inside my head right now? It's kind of scary. Like I have felt all those things that you're talking about resonate so much. And it's so important for us to focus on, how we think. It all starts at the top. Our thoughts, right? So good. So if you don't know me, my name is Deborah and I live in Branson. I'm with my husband Josh, and we have 3 kids and 1 more on the way. So happy to be on here, see everybody's faces. So I get to share a couple minutes about convention, which is coming up in June. And convention is something that Plexus has every year. And finally, we're back in person and things are more consistent. So it's such a great opportunity for us to be able to get together. So this year it's going to be in Nashville. And the dates for it are June 16th through 18th. Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, how fun is that, right? We were supposed to have convention in Nashville in 2020, and that all just blew to bits, but we get to have a do-over and it's beautiful. all the faces I'm seeing on here probably know the details about convention, but the theme is one plexus, and I just love that. I love that. We're back to our roots. That's what we've always stood for. We're one plexus, even though we're multiple teams, even though we're different sidelines, uplines, we're one plexus. And I just love that about us. And I love that everybody works together just to help each other. And so that just really embodies who we are. But I mean, so you're wondering, like, why do I need to go to convention? You know, what is in it for me? You know, maybe it's a distance to travel and everything involved in it. So I have been to convention. I was trying to count because we didn't have it in 2020, but it was virtual, so that counts, right? And I think I've been 7 times, 6 times. This will be my 7th year. Like, that's a lot. And every single year is just something new, something fresh, you know, an opportunity for us to get together in person. So many of us don't get to be together and hang out. But even more than that, we get to sit together in the different trainings and parties and opportunities that we have there. We all get to do it together, and then we get to like share about what was good and what we enjoyed and just compare our notes. And it's just so great. I mean, then there's all the layers of team pictures and fun and parties and get-togethers, and that part is, it's just fun, you know, just completely fun. But is that enough reason to go? And I just want to remind you that, for one, you really need to pour into yourself. You have to do this for you and to benefit your mindset, where you're at in your business, remembering why you're doing this, remembering how great our company is, how great our products are, seeing your team members face to face, seeing some of your favorite Plexus celebrities in person. And you're worth it. You're worth that investment. It's worth it to put down some money to go. It's worth it to find, you know, what your family is going to do while you're gone for a couple days. All those things are so worth it and such a good investment for you personally and for your business. And the other reason is it's so good for your team. And so even if you don't have a downline yet, for your sidelines, for your uplines, for the team that you have around you, it's so good for them to see you and to share all of that with you. There's so many good reasons for you to be there. And so registration is open right now. And there's, I mean, no better time than right now to register, get it over with, and then plan, how am I going to get there, and all the details as it comes. You know, June is going to be here before you know it, but you still have plenty of time to figure out where you're going to stay and all the things you're going to do. But the first step is to get registered. And that way, you're committed. You put that in, you're ready to go. And then, of course, we have all of the contest prizes, which is just icing on the cake, right? And so that is something that we can be working on now. And if you saw the contest, you know, breakdown of all the gifts and prizes, it looks like a lot. Like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to make all that happen? And I'm telling you, if I've gone 6 times, I'm kind of an expert. It's possible. You can totally get those credits and get to whatever prize you want to get on that bracket. And so some of the prizes are the convention store gift card, which is so fun, $100 travel voucher, like that's super useful. Another gift card, the winner's dinner, which is so fun. And then you get to the $500 travel voucher. Then there's extra cash, spending money, and the top prize is the black tie gala, which is the fancy dress up dinner. And it is so possible for any one of us to reach even that top prize. So do not tell yourself, well, that's out of reach. That's not for me, because it absolutely is. You can totally get to that. And it's just a matter of, one, your mindset, how you think about it, telling yourself, yes, I can. It's not crazy. I can totally get to that. And then, mapping it out, linking arms with somebody that can help you figure out what it's going to take to get that many credits. And then helping your team do the things together to work toward those goals. Because you don't want to be there by yourself. You want to work with your buddies to get there and have such a good time. And so, whatever it is, whatever your goal is, yes, Heather, whatever your goal is, you can totally get there. You can totally do it. It's just a matter of starting at the top of how you think about it and then taking action to reaching those goals. You're worth it. Your team is worth it. And helping your team is going to help your own credits rise along right with theirs, which is just what we're all about, right? Our one plexus and working together. And so if it's in your heart to be able to get there and go, register. Don't wait. Register tonight. I know you've got emails sitting in your inbox that say register now, and you might be ignoring them. And, go ahead and go for it. Make that commitment. You're going to want to be there in Nashville. Do not look back and see all the pictures of everybody there and wish that you was there, because you can totally be there and be a part of it. And you're going to go home just with a complete different inspiration and belief in yourself, in this company, in what you're capable of, and really just dreams of the future, of the possibilities that are there before you, because the God that brought you to this company wants you to succeed, and he wants you to be built up in the process. And just like all those Bible verses that Carrie was dropping, like, he wants us to grow and thrive, and not away from Plexus, but even in your business. He wants you to thrive. He wants you to grow. He wants you to become your best self. And we're here for it. So I think I'm passing it back to Wade. It has been fun talking.
Okay, I love you, Deborah Hoppy. That was so good. I feel like I would be like signing up right now if I didn't already know the goodness, because you're right. There's so much more to it. It's like going to camp or revival or something. You come back refreshed, renewed, all the things. You guys, wasn't that good? Isn't there some amazing leaders on this team? Hey, congratulations to Bronte. She earned her boots tonight. I think I saw that Kim is one away from earning hers. And I didn't chat anything because my ring light is like, I'm not going to touch anything because it will fall. That's my situation. That's the contraption that I have holding my ring light up. But I was watching them. I was watching those chats. I want to, first of all, I just want to say, kind of reiterate what each person talked about. Brooke was talking about find your spot and run. Like Lauren didn't see herself in the company, so she nudged herself in there and she ran with it. Do that. We're here for it. We encourage you. If you already see your group, get in there with them, get some sideline sisters and run with them. No need to reinvent the wheel. Carrie, I don't know if you know this, but I think you're supposed to be a preacher for one thing, because wow, you were anointed tonight, mean it. Build on your strengths, focus on that positive thinking by capturing your negative thoughts and replacing them with truth, which is right there in the word. We need to look no further. And then I love how she said, success is rooted in your thoughts. And guys, it's true. When I look at the times I was succeeding, it's because I was believing in myself and I was having positive thoughts about myself. On these times that I wasn't succeeding, I was thinking negatively. I mean, and I just heard this for the first time this weekend, and it's just like, wow, it makes so much sense. And then Deborah, like I said, convention, thank you for just saying all that you did to show them that there's more to it than just going on a trip. And what it does for you guys, what it does for your team, it's just amazing. And we obviously want you there because for me, I'm an Enneagram 7. I just like to get dressed up and party. I can't even help it. But I love the training too. It's fun. But it's nice to have somebody that can explain all the other things and not just like the winner's dinner is going to be in the Wild Horse Saloon. Is that right? I know it sounds wild, but listen, I love Jesus. But this saloon now, it's a good time. It's a good time. And they treat you so well. And it's special. So anyways, okay, Lane just wants her red lipstick. A to the men or hot pink. Let's go, girls. All right, guys, thank you so much for jumping on. It truly means a lot. I just want you to know it means a lot to us to have you jump on here and spend your time with us. It truly does, because we love pouring into you. So thank you for spending your time with us. I'm going to close this out in prayer. Reach out to somebody and tell them what you got out of this. If your team wasn't on the call, jump on a live, jump on a call with them and retrain it, okay? Oh, and one thing I wrote down is be brilliant at the basics. I had to throw this in there. Sometimes at the end of the call, you can be like, whoa, I've got convention to think about and positive thinking, all these things. Just be your best at the basics. And to get to convention, that's adding 3 each month and helping those 3 add 3. The basics, business talk, is me plus 3. If you haven't watched that video, shoot me a message. I'll send it to you. It's basic, but if you're brilliant at the basics, you will succeed. Okay, I'm going to close this out in prayer, all right? Dear Heavenly Father, God, you are amazing. You are gracious and loving and forgiving and kind, Lord, and we are just awestruck by your goodness. Lord, I just thank you for every single person on this call. I thank you for the families that they represent. I thank you for the dreams that are represented here tonight and the visions, Lord. I just pray, God, that you just give us each every step that we need to take to go closer to that, Lord, and help us to grow closer to you in that process, God. Help us to only step where you tell us, Lord, and to back off from where we're not supposed to be, Lord. I just pray, God, that as we grow our business, Lord, that we can grow others closer to you, Jesus. I pray for anybody on this call tonight, Lord. I know that there's hurting hearts on this call, and I just pray you continue to be with those hurting hearts, Lord, tonight, God, and give them peace and comfort that only can give. I just pray favor, Lord, upon each business represented here tonight, God. I just pray your favor and your blessing, Lord, that you multiply their efforts, Lord. And God, we just love you so much, and we just give our businesses and our homes and our families and ourselves, Lord, to you completely. And we just thank you for always meeting us on these calls. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, thank you. Love you. Good night.